So the Boruto anime, Boruto Naruto Next Generations, has finally wrapped up the Urashiki revival arc, seemingly a mini arc, because it started at, what was it, 120, 121, and it wrapped up with episode 125 of the anime. And I ain't gonna lie, there's quite a bit that needs to be said regarding what went down with this arc, shall I say, which I thought it was gonna be something else than what we got. But let's talk about Urashiki's revival and what went down.
Whether Facebook, Twitter, or the two, make sure to steer clear, cause I'm coming through like...
Okay, so from Jump Street, there was already problematic aspects with this arc. When Sasuke, his whole character was miswritten, written the wrong way. Everything about Sasuke's character in the beginning of him getting tricked and just over-emotional about things just felt like, whoa, what's going on? But you know what? People throw in the argument he was distracted. His precious student Boruto showed up. So whatever. Then throughout the episodes, honestly, it was like we had the setup of when Boruto met that, father and daughter, and that just kind of amounted to nothing. It really, it was before the whole big fight started, before Boruto ran into Urashiki and everything, and I thought that was going to be something else, but it was just like, oh, Urashiki destroyed their home, and it was supposed to be one of the same regurgitated lessons that we've gotten from the Naruto Boruto franchise for years upon years of, filler episodes and things like that, which that's what those characters felt like to me, just straight up filler characters. But Urashiki, so as I said again, he got rid of, he made quick work of Sasuke, made quick work of Gaara. Shukaku had to get sealed up in a pot or whatever, and a good majority of the episodes, to be honest with you, is Boruto and Shinki running in the desert trying to figure it out. Like, that was a good majority of it. There were some golden nuggets here and there, seeing Shika die using the wind style from his mom and stuff like that, seeing him and Tamari working together was kind of cool. But the pacing also and the events, the time and the events of this kind of felt a little weird, because if this is a giant desert between the Sand Village and, Konoha, or what's it, the Sand Village, wherever the hell they were at exactly, this is a giant place. But certain aspects just started not making sense. Like, for example, in the latest episode, when Shinki made it all the way to the Land of Fire, handed Shukaku, talked to Sai and everything, talked to Asuma's daughter and whatnot, and Midai, and then managed to make it all the way back to Boruto in time. Didn't even ask for, hey, Boruto, didn't tell them, hey, Boruto's in trouble or whatever, you might want to come help him and whatnot. None of that. He just makes it back, so it's kind of like, wait, what? So he was all the way over there. They were in a desperate struggle to get him over there. Boruto's trying to buy time. Then he gets all the way over there, then gets back within minutes. Like, it just didn't... Like, how long was Boruto running and going up against Urashiki while Shinki ran away? Like, that just kind of felt a little awkward with episode 125. And I mean, one of the core lessons and values of this was, it was for character development for Shinki, which it was somewhat there by the end of episode 125 when Shinki gets on the train with his father Gaara and Boruto and him are talking, whatever. You can see that he kind of started to understand a little bit and open up a tiny smidge to having bonds when he's like, hey, you ever come to the Sand Village, I'll show you around as well. And Boruto continues, despite Shinki being a complete butthole. Like, throughout the whole thing, Shinki was really just like, stubborn. Like, you would see little inklings here or there of him wanting to change, but then going back to his old ways. And it's a classic thing in Naruto that we've seen a bajillion times, the whole thing of the mission versus saving a comrade. And Boruto is, of course, like his father. He wants to save the comrade. Shinki is, of course, like his father, or just, one of the hardened shinobi, shall I say, that the mission is more important. So it was basically giving a character growth for Shinki for the future, and also finally him creating a friend. He never had a friend before, seemingly, so now Boruto is his friend, which is, it's basically like Shinki is going down the same path as like Gaara or something like that. Like, he's starting to, his heart is warming up to people. So if that was the whole, I guess, goal of this, then it was successful. But it's just the time that it took and everything that went down, or the lack thereof that went down, that really was just like, because Urashiki Otsutsuki, let's remember, Otsutsuki, when you think of the Otsutsuki, you think Kaguya, you think Momoshiki, you're thinking of great, strong fighters. And the fact that Boruto and all of them were able to survive him, he didn't kill nobody. I mean, right there, he could have easily and should have easily, just like Momoshiki would have, killed Shikadai and Tamari. At the very least, okay, they don't want to kill off one of the new generation. Tamari could have died right there. In fact, the whole teasing of Kankuro's death, that was some BS. I ain't gonna lie. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not that I'm hungry for death, but they really teased that Kankuro died right there in his explosion against the puppets and against Urashiki. And then in the very, at the end of it all, episode 125, he survived, and it's like, oh, okay, so, I mean, I for the most part, didn't believe that he was dead. I thought there was a slight possibility, considering the Boruto anime has killed off some characters. I mean, Onoki, is dead. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how they're gonna reflect that in the manga, but the previous Tsuchikage is dead, so I was like, there's a small possibility they could do it, but it just didn't feel like it was gonna happen. And at the same time, it's disappointing, because if anybody is going to kill somebody in the Naruto series, yeah, and Otsutsuki would be the best person for the job. So Kankuro doing this explosion, like, that would have been great. That would have been legendary if they would have actually killed him off. But again, he's alive. We got a little bit to explore more of Boruto's unique eye, where Urashiki's fighting and his eye activates and he's like, oh shoot, that's the Jougan, what's going on here? I didn't know you had that. Then it shows just how much of a power up it is, which I like that aspect in a way. I mean, it is cheap because, oh, you know, he has an eye power. Now that means that he's going to be astronomically strong, because when him and Shinki are going up against Urashiki, mind you, Boruto been running, dodging for his life. They had to come up with that plan to get the teapot and switch it out so that Urashiki would think that Boruto has Shukaku in his arms the entire time or whatever. But he was running for his life, barely survived, had clones hiding, did everything he possibly can until Shinki had his magical flight back to the spot where they were at from the, you know, land of fire. He was running for his life. And then once the Jougan is activated, it's a whole different ballgame. Now, mind you, they still weren't able to put Urashiki down, but they were able to do a little bit of damage with their combo technique. Him using the Jougan and going Rasengan in combination with Shinki. Like, they put in some work, and granted, Urashiki got, like, you know, bopped a little bit. Looked like, I don't know, I think his crown was already, like, messed up or whatever, but when we first see him after him getting hit by it, he kind of looks a little bit damaged, couldn't open his eye for a moment, and then it was like, oh, okay, so it's like, you managed to do something there, but it also, again, shows that later on down the road, when Boruto gets that karma mark, and alongside having that eye, he's going to be very OP, because if he was able to, just for a smidge, get a couple digs in on Urashiki, that means that he's going to be astronomically strong by the end of the series. So it's starting to make it kind of, I guess, somewhat sensible, even though it's still BS that one eye, you know, no matter how strong that Jougan is. Like the Rinnegan, when people would get the Rinnegan back in the day, as much as it was hyped up, it was just like, oh, they got some cool, way stronger techniques, but it still didn't make them like astronomically like a jump of power. It wasn't really until like the Sage of Six Paths power, for example, that Madara really jumped, because, you know, he had the Rinnegan and he was still having to fight for his life and stuff like that. So seeing that the Jougan gave Boruto that much strength, it was like, alright, whatever. I mean, at the very least, Urashiki still got up and it wasn't too much to him. And then the way Urashiki is handled, or he wasn't even killed off, he wasn't really defeated or anything like that, the way he was pulled off screen, shall I say, was anticlimactic, because it was like building up like, maybe this is gonna be the end of Urashiki, this is it. Sasuke shows up, you know, they have a little squabble, and then Urashiki runs for the hills, and that's the end of it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was built up like Boruto fighting for his life, Shinki fighting for his life, Shika died, Tamari took L's, Kankuro took an L, and Urashiki just ran away, and that's it. Sasuke is low on power. Like, it honestly, the anime made Sasuke, people say that the manga be nerfing Naruto and Sasuke. The anime, my gosh, he comes back one time, uses a technique or two, and Sasuke's back, oh, my chakra, I'm low, I can't do nothing. Thank goodness Urashiki ran away. Like, I ain't gonna lie, this arc had a lot of promise, had a lot of potential. There were some cool things here and there in it, but for the most part, ended off pretty damn disappointing. Urashiki ran for the hills, Sasuke looking nerfed as ever, Boruto and Shinki combined, two little genin, somehow putting in some type of work on an Otsutsuki, basically a god to this. Like, it just felt really like, whoa, you're jumping shark here with me, Boruto. What's going on? So all in all, the Urashiki revival arc, or Urashiki returns, whatever you want to call it, honestly, it was meh. You know, the end, Boruto made it back to his village, all of that. Happy times. I think we got like one more episode of just seeing Shukaku in the pot. And there's supposed to be something with Himawari. I'm looking forward to seeing what that is, but Urashiki's already been fended off, so God knows where he went now. And I'm just curious what they're going to do with the character, because with the manga, he still hasn't even been mentioned in the manga, and the manga and anime have to parallel to a certain point, and especially the Otsutsuki. There's a big plot point right now going on with the Otsutsuki. You know, it's just minor spoiler at the end of the day. Y'all know Kishimoto set up the Otsutsuki for the Boruto series anyway. Let's stop playing around. So how are they going to work that into the manga if he's still alive? Like, this would have been the perfect time for somebody to have killed him off, or him to get sealed. I think being sealed probably would have been the best, because that way it won't really conflict with what's going on in the manga with karma and all of that stuff. Remember, at the end of the Momoshiki fight, that's how Boruto got the karma mark on his hand, was from defeating a godlike creature like the Otsutsuki. So killing him off, it would really interfere with the plot. He needs to get sealed or just dip away from Earth and never come back, something along those lines. So this would have been the perfect opportunity. Have Sasuke, Gaara, Boruto, Shinky, Temari, Shikadai, all of them just jump this dude. Maybe, you know, he gets sealed somehow, put him in the pot. You know what I'm saying? Urashiki in a pot, let's go. But instead, he just ran away. So honestly, this arc, it had some cool stuff, but pretty damn disappointing. I wanted to see an end to this Urashiki Otsutsuki. Hopefully they do something to make it have some type of sense when it comes to comparing it and jumping into the stuff in the manga. The manga absolutely incredible right now. The anime, it had a great concept, great idea. Execution was Boruto and Shinki running in the sand for episodes upon episodes. A couple filler characters that were introduced and really had no relevance to the plot other than like, hey, this could have been a good hideout. Oh, they were already destroyed by Urashiki in a matter of seconds. And again, the timing just felt really weird. Like Shinki getting to the land of fire and back, not telling anybody, hey, Boruto's out there. It just felt like really weird. Like, how the hell you got all the way over there and back within moments of Boruto running for his life from Urashiki? Like, what? Kind of curious what you guys thought about it, though. If you've seen the Urashiki revival arc from episodes, again, I want to say 120 or 121 through 125. What did you think of it? How did you feel? Again, this was supposed to be character development and a bond development between Boruto and Shinki really opening up more and getting to the idea of possibility of friendships. I mean, when he told Gaara, I learned nothing from Boruto, absolutely nothing. He's still, you know what I'm saying? But he did learn something. It wasn't from Boruto. It was more, well, it was from Boruto, but it wasn't like, oh, power or whatever. It was more so like, you know, camaraderie, friendship, things like that. So nothing spectacular. And how do you feel about looking at Sasuke that dude got nerfed? I don't care what anyone says. You want to talk about the manga nerfing him? Dude was just like, wow. Like, don't get me wrong, that's an Otsutsuki, but this is an Otsutsuki that just got the work from a couple of Genin just because one of them had an eye. Like, And how did you feel about Kankuro being alive? Like, what? Don't tease to death if you're not gonna go all the way through with it, especially that it was like episodes of like, well, maybe he survived, maybe he died. Like, Boruto anime, so much potential to do great things, and yet we get this. Although there was some entertaining parts, and I do like seeing an Otsutsuki. And I also enjoyed seeing a little bit more advancement and understanding of Boruto's Jougan and how strong that really makes him. So there was that. But that's all I have for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, hit that bell, make sure you hit for all notifications, and if you want to follow any of my other social media, links of course in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always people, have an awesome day, and remember the golden rule, anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in.
Enjoy the next ride, but I was the best ride. But I